Look at everybody. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorites, Jason Aldean. Zooming with the big time. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, not a problem. I know we want to talk about the music, but first, I just want to tell you, I can't even look at the pictures of your house in Florida because I'm so jealous. I'm not a jealous person. I'm not envious, but did you move there?
No, well, not yet. So we just, we've kind of always kept a place in Florida. It's kind of second home for me. I grew up with my mom in Georgia and my dad lived in Florida. So it's always kind of been a second home for me anyway. And so I've always had a house down there. And we recently just bought one in a different area. So we just had a chance to go and stay in it for the first time. We've been down there for about a month and then just got back to Nashville. So I got a daughter that'll be 15 in August. So she's starting high school this year. And I think maybe when she gets out of school, we may look more at moving down there on a more permanent type basis, but not until she gets out of school.
Well, I tell you what, it's funny you're talking about kids because you make that house so nice. Those kids are never going to leave. You know that.
I know, which is unfortunate. But it's nice. I mean, it's nice to have a place to be able to go, especially in the summertime, just, or really even in the wintertime, you can
really in the wintertime.
Yeah, we're pretty, we're in South Florida. So it gives us a chance to go down there at any time really and kind of get into some warm weather, which is kind of nice.
All right. Well, your friends might also show up and never leave. I'm just saying, don't call the cops. Okay.
Anytime.
Hey, congrats on Trouble with a Heartbreak. This tune, I mean, you were like king of like the power ballad,
Well, I'm a kid of the 80s, the power ballad was big in the 80s. But this was a song to me. I feel like in the last few years, we've kind of gone more toward the positive type love songs, things like You Make It Easy and Got What I Got and some of those kind of songs. And to me, this was a little bit more getting back to, what I did kind of in the early days. I mean, it's more the heartbreak type songs that I feel like are, country music was, kind of founded on songs like that. Yeah. So, and I still love doing those songs. And so I felt like this one was really cool and just melodically and sonically the way the song is, I didn't feel like this was a song we had done before. So it was cool to find something like this and be able to go out there and feel like you're kind of changing gears a little bit. And, and the reaction we've gotten to it obviously has been great. So it's been fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. Listen, once you've gotten Carrie Underwood to sing a love song with you, your job here is done because, I mean, have you listened to Carrie Underwood songs? They're not love songs. They sound like they're love songs, and then there's a funeral. You know what I'm saying?
Then she like destroys your car, and
exactly. Right. So you did good. I was watching. It's funny, Jason. I was watching the video last night. Who's riding the horse in that video?
It's an actor. I met him that day. He was an actor. Actually, he was a guy that has a ranch. I mean, he brought the horses. They were his horses. And so he was legit, rancher that was out there.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was you. And one of the reasons I thought it was you, and I haven't seen this before on YouTube, maybe I'm just not looking. At 48 seconds, there was this pop-up that said most replayed part of the video. And it was the horse.
Really?
Getting galloped there across the desert. Yeah.
Well, I tried to get him to let me ride it that day. I think we were under a time crunch to get we were trying to film at basically sundown that day. So we had a short window of like not a lot of time to mess around. And I think they were like, no, we're not letting you on the horse. We're gonna do this so we know we got it.
That insurance stuff always gets in the way too.
I know.
How dare they? How dare they? Yeah, well, this is a great tune. I know you're going to be singing your heart out on this. What is your tour looking like this year? I know you had to go with like some different opening acts, right? Because Gabby Barrett went and decided to have another child.
Yeah, we initially we had DJ Silver, who's kind of always out with us. We had John Morgan, who's a new artist that we're working with, and
Did he write this song? What's that? Did he write Trouble with Heartbreak? Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote Trouble with Heartbreak. He was also a writer on the Carrie duet as well.
Okay.
So that was his first cut ever. So
Wow.
he's off to a good start. He's 2 for 2. But
Yeah, he
um,
is.
so he's going to be out with us, and then we were supposed to have Gabby, which Gabby's going to be on the first half of the tour,
Right.
and then she's going to kind of be getting geared up to have her baby, which is obviously is going to take precedence over our tour,
I
which
know.
is completely understandable.
Right.
So we reached out to Tracy Lawrence, Travis Tritt, and Chase Rice, who are going to help us kind of fill in the gaps on those dates. And it's going to be fun. I'm a huge fan of Tracy Lawrence, Travis Tritt. I used to pay to go watch those guys play. So to have them on our tour is really exciting for me. And then Chase and I are buddies. So it's going to be a good time.
That Tracy Lawrence, that's going to be amazing because it's hard to believe, though, you will be introducing part of the audience to someone who they don't know that well, you know?
Yeah, and Tracy was one of my biggest influences coming up.
Yeah.
He was my dude, and everybody else was big Garth Brooks fans and all that. I was a huge Tracy Lawrence fan. And so I've gotten to be pretty good friends with Tracy over the years here in Nashville. And we've done some shows together, but to have him like really be a part of the big tour is fun. And Travis, Travis Tritt was a guy that came out.
Jeez.
He was from out of Atlanta, which is just up the street from where I was from in Macon. And so, for me, he was one of those guys that made the Nashville dream seem like it was attainable. He was a guy that came from where I came from, and he was a guy that mixed country and Southern rock and made it happen, so he was a guy that I always looked up to a lot, coming up, playing the bars and made it look like, hey, this isn't one of those things that's that far-fetched. It can happen. And so it's exciting to have him out this year.
Dang, that is something. I hadn't even thought about that, because to me, like, Travis Tritt never went away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, what a superstar that guy was, right?
Yeah, I just saw him actually at the Kentucky Derby a few weeks ago. We were at the Kentucky Derby and got a chance to hang with him a little bit and catch up. And he's, he's a guy that kind of did it like I did. I mean, he came up playing in the clubs and, finally got a break, came to Nashville and did his thing. And so, I was playing a lot of the kind of same clubs he was playing back in those days.
Wow. Well, it's a big year for you, and coming off this double album. And I'm telling you, it's like having twins in different years. It's like you did the part one, the Macon, and then the part two, Georgia, totally different years, right?
Yeah.
Because you're a rebel, right?
Well, I think it's just because it's the first time we had done that. We didn't really know what we were doing. So we're like, man, everybody, when they release a double album, everybody gives it to them at once. I'm like, what if we just gave them a little bit now and a little bit later? It's all part of the same album. It's just, so it's just kind of a different way to deliver it. But at the end of the day, I think it made us feel like we could kind of extend the life of the album a little bit and really kind of focus on the first album when we had the duet was out. We kind of really wanted to focus on that particular side of the album. And then now with Trouble with the Heartbreak being out, it gave us a chance to really focus on that side. And now we can kind of go wherever we want to on the record. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I know it's too early to ask, but I know you also have to be looking ahead, because that's your life. Are you already looking for new music, writing anything, scoping out stuff for the next chapter, whatever that might be?
Yeah, it's kind of a never ending cycle, honestly. I mean, as soon as we're done recording one album, we start looking for songs for the next one. And we got a handful of things right now that are kind of in our pocket for, we're looking at for the next album, but hopefully we got a little time. We'll get through with the tour this year, probably go in the studio when the tour's over toward the end of the year, start kind of chipping away at the next album and kind of get it started. But right now, it's a process of finding songs, especially for us, because we put 15 songs or whatever it is typically on an album. So I think right now we probably got maybe 3 or 4 that we would go in and cut right now. So we got a ways to go.
Awesome. When you got in this Florida house, did you guys have to build like a separate hallway just for the number one plaques? Because you have like, is it 26 number one songs?
27, Whitney, but who's counting?
All right, listen, I was that close, and I suck at math, so that wasn't bad.
No, this Trouble with the Heartbreak makes 27, and obviously that's just blows my mind. But We typically those live at our house in Nashville, the awards and things that I've gotten over the years. We have a place for them at home, and none in the beach house yet. But if we have too many more of these, I'm gonna have to start putting some down there, which is a good problem to have. I don't have
exactly.
No problems with that.
Poor you. The problems you have. Jason, thank you so much. Congrats again. Trouble with the Heartbreak. Great tune, great video. And next time I want to see you on the horse, if you don't mind.
Hey, I could have done it. I grew up riding horses. I was all about it. They wouldn't let me on it.
That's why I asked. I think that's why that's so repeated, because I think that people think it's you. I definitely thought it was you. So
well, it should have been. I'm still upset about it.
I know. Well, then next time get on a bull, okay, and really show them how it's done.
Well, let's not get crazy. I'll do the horse.
Listen, thank you so much, Jason.
I appreciate it, Whitney.
So good to the big time. We appreciate you hanging out with us. We do.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, babe. Jason Aldean, everybody. Thank you, my friend.
See you.
See you on the road.
Absolutely. Come see us.
You got it. We'll do.